Have you ever carried something for so long that you forgot how heavy it was? Not because it became lighter, but because you became so used to carrying it. I think many of us do this emotionally. We carry old wounds, old criticisms, old rejections, old disappointments, old opinions. And after a while, they become so familiar that we stop questioning them. We stop noticing just how much space they've taken up within us. We simply learn to live with them. We come to expect them. But that doesn't mean they aren't affecting us. Imagine carrying a backpack filled with heavy books every single day. At first, you would notice the weight immediately. Your shoulders would ache. Your back would hurt. You would constantly be aware of the burden weighing you down. But after months, or even years, you might stop consciously noticing its weight. Not because the weight disappeared, but because it became your normal. I think the same thing happens when we carry the opinions of other people. We become so accustomed to living beneath their expectations, their judgments, their criticisms, their assumptions, that we forget what life feels like without them. And yet they continue influencing us in ways we often don't realize. Sometimes they show up as self-doubt. You have an idea, a dream, a desire. Maybe you want to apply for a different job, start a business, leave a situation that no longer feels right, or finally pursue something you've wanted for years. Something inside you wants to move forward. But before you do, another voice appears. What if you fail again? What will people think? What if you make the same mistakes all over again? Who do you think you are to believe you can do this? And just like that, you begin talking yourself out of taking the very step your heart was longing to take. Sometimes the weight shows up as perfectionism. Other times the weight shows up as people-pleasing. You say yes when you really want to say no. You stay quiet when something hurts. You avoid conflict, confrontation, or drama at all costs. Because somewhere along the way, you learned that keeping other people comfortable felt safer than being fully yourself. The belief that if you can just get everything right, perhaps nobody will criticize you. Perhaps nobody will reject you. Perhaps nobody will find fault with you. But perfectionism is often a painful bargain. Because no matter how much you achieve, it never truly feels like enough. The goalposts keep moving. The standards keep changing. And the contentment you're searching for always seems just out of reach. Sometimes the weight shows up as comparison. You look around and wonder why everyone else seems more confident, more successful, more capable, more certain of who they are. But comparison rarely shows us reality. It only shows us what we think we're lacking. And when we're already carrying the weight of other people's opinions, comparison has a way of making that burden even heavier. But perhaps one of the most painful ways this weight shows up is through the way we relate to ourselves, the way we speak to ourselves, the way we think about ourselves, the way we judge ourselves. Because eventually, the voices we were surrounded by can become the voice we hear within ourselves. And when that happens, we begin carrying the burden everywhere we go. Even after the people who gave us those messages are no longer part of our lives. The criticism remains, the fear remains, the doubt remains, the feeling of not being enough remains. Not because those things are true, but because we've carried them for so long. They begin to feel like part of us, like part of who we are. And this is where I want to gently pause for a moment. If you're recognizing yourself in these words, I don't want you to leave feeling discouraged. I want you to leave feeling understood. The purpose of awareness is not to make us feel ashamed. It is to help us see clearly. Because we cannot release what we refuse to acknowledge. And we cannot heal what we pretend isn't there. The truth is, many of the things you've been carrying were never yours to begin with. Not all of it belonged to you. The criticism, the unrealistic expectations, the labels, the judgments, the assumptions. You may have carried them. You may have believed them. You may have built parts of your life around them. But that doesn't make them yours. You are allowed to question the burdens you've been carrying. You are allowed to ask where they came from. You are allowed to examine whether they actually belong to you. And you are allowed to stop carrying them. Not because what happened to you didn't matter. Not because the pain wasn't real. But because you were never meant to spend your entire life carrying things that were never yours to carry. Perhaps that is what healing often begins with. Not learning how to carry the weight more gracefully, but realizing that some of it was never yours to carry. And giving yourself permission to finally set it down and let it go. Here with you, the fulfilled invisible.